Hello everyone. We are approaching noon on Saturday of the first day of the 24 and 48 readathon. I have read for 30 minutes, which is not like the most promising start. I have lots of excuses though. Yesterday, an emergency trip to Petersburg to get David a new car. So that was about 5 hours of driving yesterday, and I don't know how this works, but like you're just sitting there in a car, but driving really wears me out. So I slept in today. I also have an ear infection, so you know. David actually ended up not getting the car in Petersburg, and he and his dad drove all the way up to New York to get a car there. Which means I got the bedroom to myself. So for the first time in like ever, I was able to start a readathon in bed, and normally I exile myself out to the couch so I can talk and like turn lights on without waking up David. But so I've started Ruin and Rising. If you didn't see the update to my TBR, I actually finished Siege and Storm, and I'm on page 30, so I'm doing about a page a minute in Ruin and Rising when I'm actually reading. Now, I do have the Ghost Bride sitting over here with me as well, because previously, on like the last two Dewey's readathons, I've read like really intense books just all in one day. I read Illuminae and I read Salt to the Sea, and that's like a bit much. Like, if I'm gonna read a whole book in basically one sitting, you know, I'd like it to be a little more mellow. So, Ruin and Rising. Not mellow, I'm guessing. It's the, you know, final book in a fantasy trilogy that involves, like, lots of violence. So if, like, my heart starts pounding and I'm like, you know, let's just chill out for a bit, I may put down Ruin and Rising and start Ghost Bride a little bit early. Hey guys, it's now about 5 o'clock and I've only read 2 hours so far today, mainly because I've been watching a Dota tournament. It's Dota Pit. You probably don't know what Dota is. It is an esport. It's mainly popular in Europe and China, not so popular in the United States. And so I've been watching that and like doing the things that I kind of needed to do today, like laundry, dishes, blah blah blah. And then I've been reading in the breaks between games, which has only added up to 2 hours. But now the tournament is over for today, so it's going to be all Ruin and Rising for the rest of the evening until I like go to sleep in like 5 or 6 hours. So I've gotten to page 104 of Ruin and Rising, and so far it's good, but like this is about the point where I stopped liking Siege and Storm, so I'm very tentative now, like, when is it gonna start being bad? Uh-oh. Hopefully never, but I will report back to you when I've made more progress. Okay, so it's now about 9:30 and I have read for 4 hours. I have gotten to page 209 of Ruin and Rising, which is almost, it's like exactly the halfway point. And we've now reached what I guess I'm dubbing the Hamlet point, which is, I talked about this in my Uprooted review. It's where so many bad things have happened that for there to be a happy ending would just be inappropriate. So like in Hamlet, if at the end of all this, like Hamlet just casually wins his duel with Laertes and then, you know, Claudius steps down, or maybe they kill Claudius, but then Hamlet becomes king and like rules justly for the rest of his life, that would make the play a terrible play. And with Uprooted, I was like, okay, we've got 3 main characters. I'm not gonna be happy unless at least one of them dies. Naomi Novik actually came up with a way, other than that, to make like a satisfying ending that was not, it was like a bit happy, but not super happy. So maybe I'm not thinking hard enough about this, but like, I want the majority of our main characters / main characters' friends to die, or I want Alina to turn evil and like possibly like realize at the end that she is evil and then nobly sacrifice herself. That would be acceptable. Or like she makes it through okay, but then the countryside, like the nation is in ruins and it's like irreparable and they're going to be taken over by Fjerda or something. That better be how this ends. And I know that a lot of people didn't really like the end of this. I don't know if that's because they wanted it to be happy, which means I will like the end of it, or if it's because they wanted it to be more, like, you know, matter. Like, if there's a happy ending, then none of this stuff matters. And so why am I reading about it? Anyway, back to reading. And welcome to Sunday. It's about 4 o'clock now, and I've basically been spending the day in bed. My ear infection is still bothering me. Am I like allergic to readathons? I got sick at the end of the cramathon last month as well. But I've read 6.5 hours so far. Not today, like total for the weekend. So 24 hours, just not gonna happen. But that's like way more reading than I would normally have gotten done, so counting it as a win. I didn't read any more of Ruin and Rising last night. I considered foregoing a shower in order to read, but you know, hygiene's important. So today I've been reading Ghost Bride by Yang Chu. I'm on page 100 at the moment, and I like there's 4 parts. And it was kind of like going, you know, somewhat boringly along. And then you get to the end of part 1 and you're like, oh snap. So I am enjoying this. I'll probably see you again in a couple of hours when I decide to end my 24 and 48, and I'll give you my total number of hours read. Hello again. So we are about to tick over to 10 o'clock. And I have work tomorrow, so I'm going to bring my readathon to a close. I got to page 131 of The Ghost Bride, which means my various totals are, let's see, number of hours I read was 7 hours, 7 minutes, and 2 seconds. I'm sure that I stopped to like take a drink at some point, so if you want to ignore those 2 seconds, you are probably correct. And my total number of pages was 340 across the 2 books. Did I get anywhere close to 24 hours of reading? No, I did not, but I'm still very happy with the amount that I read, and since I'd never done this before, I didn't know how feasible this goal was. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and good night. Night Vale. Good night.